Hello, YouTubers. My name is Omega Prophet. If you couldn't tell already by my username, I don't usually make video blogs. This is the first one that I've created, and I just felt so compelled to speak about the events of today, to make one. As the title so suggests, it's how to punk off cops, and the reason why I say that is because I just want to tell my story. I was hanging out with my friend Matt, and we are walking to the corner store just around the corner from his house because we wanted to grab a drink and he wanted to grab a cigarette. So, we're walking there because we don't feel that we have to take a car everywhere we go. It's just around the corner. We get there, and we decide that maybe we don't want to walk back right away. We just finished getting here. Let's, take a drink, smoke a cigarette. Owners know us. They don't mind. Not that anybody should mind you standing around a street corner doing what you need to do, but whatever. All of a sudden, that's when 4 cops came around and grabbed me by the arm, twisted my arm up to my back and threw me against the wall to search me. This is happening to Matthew as well. They're asking us, what's your name? I didn't answer them. I had no reason to answer them. I asked them, what's your name? You know what I mean? I was like, oh, well, let me see some ID. I don't have to show you ID. I don't have to carry around ID in America. Are you kidding me? Oh, where are you from? I'm from America. Where are you from that you think you can just blatantly act this way against American citizens? He didn't like that answer too much, and he threw me against the wall and performed a false search. And the reason why I say that this is a false search is because if I did have anything on me, he wouldn't have found it. He didn't seem that he was interested in going into my pockets or looking into my sock or shaking my belt. The only thing that I really felt him grab was my penis, and that was twice. I asked him about it and got angry, try to get a little bit more rough with me, but being careful because we are out in public and I was making a lot of noise. I was asking them, who the hell do they think they are? What makes them think that they can come and harass me and my friend Matt? What did we do to deserve this kind of behavior? One of the dumbasses, being the dumbasses that they are, because they are just cops, they're not really as smart as they want you to believe they are, said, we have a complaint from somebody that we got people dealing drugs here. It's like, bullshit. You're a liar. I mean, if that was true, they'd be out here with you, rooting you on. And if you did come out here to arrest some drug dealers, you would have came in the car ready to drive us away, because it was 4 people to one 4-door sedan. Come on, what was I gonna sit between the 2 faggots that grabbed my penis? I didn't mean to say faggot. I don't hate the gay community. I actually just am very upset. I use the faggot in the most literal term ever, and that is somebody I believe that should be burned alive. Sorry, America, but I don't feel safe with these officers around. They were so-called gang unit, which I never understood in the first place. I mean, don't we have the freedom of assembly in America? I understand gangs do some horrible things, but those are really poverty issues. You're not helping anybody out by throwing more cops out there because they're profiting more from all the mayhem than anybody else is. In fact, even when they left, because they left, people in the community came up and told me, yeah, those guys are jerks and they just rob drug dealers. And God forbid we should take that to court. Anyway, so yeah, they're grabbing me and pushing me against the wall. My friend Smitty is being held up against the wall with just 2 fingers closing up his windpipe in a brutal fashion. And they didn't let him go until I started yelling, police brutality, police brutality. Who do you think you are? What the hell do you think you're doing? The entire time they're trying to intimidate us, and me and Matt, we're already angry. So we're like, who the hell do you think you are? Do you think we're afraid of you? Like, we're not going to be made afraid to live in our own neighborhoods. He's like, oh, we're the gang units. We're here to protect you from gangs. And, I'm not afraid of gangs. I understand that there have been a multitude of gang killings since the beginning of the year. But the reason why I don't fear that, and the reason why I'm not afraid of that, is because I'm not involved in any kind of gang activity. I'm not selling drugs. I'm not looking for turf. I can walk down the neighborhood and be safe, because I didn't hear of any, civilians being killed. Everybody who's gotten killed, maybe they were innocent, but they were definitely hanging out with a gang target, a notorious gang target, and that's just not me. I don't have to be afraid to walk down my neighborhood, something. If gangs were such a big problem, then they'd really legalize drugs, because that's how you would essentially cut off all of their funding. I guess that doesn't matter. What the world, or this country I should say, really wants is a police force that you can be afraid of. The entire time they were commanding respect, and I wasn't giving it to them. I'm an educated person. I know that what they did was wrong. I'm completely in the right when I tell them to go fuck themselves. And I'm proceeding, that's exactly what they did, because they got into their car and drove away. Not before flicking me off like a bunch of 5-year-olds, after me and Matt just finished telling them off and telling them that, the community is not going to be afraid of the corrupt police. I guess they didn't like that too much. Before he got into the car, though, he did whisper in my ear that I should watch myself and that he remembered my face. And I continued on to tell him that I will be missed if I disappear, and I'm not afraid of corrupt police. I'm better than that. I have honor. I educate myself. What has he done for the community lately? Nothing. Who was he? Who knows? Because his badge was concealed within his shirt around his necklace, and he had no name tag. Who knows who was messing with me? Is this Nazi Germany now, where people can just roll up on you and demand for your papers? Is this Dominican Republic in the days of General Trujillo, where the cops just come up and fuck with you for whatever reason and make sure that you hail the dictator? Because that's what it's going to come down to. You know what I mean? Well, really, I don't understand. Maybe I do understand, but I just want to raise the point, is that when I started screaming police brutality, when I started asking them about my race, and when they told me that I'm not allowed to hang out in the gang in street corner, I asked them, well, where's the executive order that says so? Where's the new law that has been passed that says that we're not allowed to hang out in the streets of America? Threatening me to go back home. I told them, you go home. I'm not afraid of you. This is my neighborhood. I live here. When you come around again, I'm still going to be here. Of course, they didn't come back. Made sure of it, because they did take Matthew's cigarette, stomp it on the floor, crushed it. There's no need for that. Threw our drinks on the ground. We paid for that. Who the hell do you think you are, you dirty fucking pigs? And I really hope you're watching this on YouTube, because you still haven't gotten my name, you pricks. But you're still going to see me out in the streets, because I'm unemployed and I ain't got shit to do. Sorry, motherfuckers. Anyway, who the hell do the police think they are? We just basically have to show them as a community that we're not afraid of them, and we're not going to stand down against the police state. We're better than that. We're Americans. That's not what we're about. I may have brown skin and my friend may be black, but that doesn't give anybody the right to push us around. But like I said in the beginning of this movie, it's probably not even a black or white thing, because this is happening with everybody. I'm sure if the cops were black, and they would have still acted the same, they would have still been the same assholes. It was just convenient that they were white, and they clearly weren't from Providence. They must have been Lincoln, Warwick, Cranston citizens, because they weren't from Providence. When you're from Providence, you know you're from Providence. I mean, it's not to say that you're like marked or anything, but you just speak differently, you act differently, and maybe that's what they don't respect. Who knows? I'm educated. I can defend myself against the police, as I showed them. They walked away. They drove away. They were upset. I knew they were angry. And then what happened after that they left? We stayed there. We continued. We smoked another cigarette and we drank another juice. And that's when people in the community came around and shook our hands. Imagine that. We were disrespectful to the police, and then all of a sudden the community gathered around us and congratulated us. Really, what does that tell you? Are the people really backing the police right now? Think about that. Maybe you should go out and arrest some bankers instead of some drug dealers.